I've always exercised regularly, but for some reason, I just couldn't lose weight. Major milestone is losing 10K, and it's kind of long lasting. I don't feel like I had to cut out anything. My quality of sleep has been better. I feel lighter walking around. It's just being able to get into clothes that I couldn't get into before. I don't cook, and I don't have time to cook.
What is good? Robin Good here, and I'm joined today by one of my clients, Patrick, who just reached a massive milestone in his health, in his wellness journey. And we wanted to jump on here quickly to share a little bit about his experience so far, what results he got, and obviously where we all going to take it next. So thank you, first of all, Patrick, for taking the time. What's the milestone that we're celebrating?
First of all, a pleasure. Thanks for your help. First milestone, well, major milestone is losing 10K. So I'm very kind of relieved and excited that finally we got there, and I'm looking forward to get the next 10 done.
Awesome. 10 kilograms down, massive milestone. When was the last time you were on that weight where you are right now?
Must have been 10 years ago or more, prior to being married and kids.
Awesome. Great. Just quickly, can you give a little bit of an overview? Like, how has your situation been before we got the ball rolling?
So I think the situation I had was that I've always exercised regularly in the last couple of years, playing tennis 4 times a week, sometimes even 7 times a week. But for some reason, I just couldn't lose weight. And even in the evenings during the week, would not drink alcohol, would just eat salads. Somehow the weight would not come off. So we connected, and, you suggested a new way of eating, which meant that I could still enjoy my few glasses of wine or more sometimes on the weekend. But during the week, not be strict to a certain extent, but at the same time being able to eat the stuff I like, whatever it may be. But at the same time, one of the things I learned was how a plate should look. So, to start with, in the old days, I would have just had a huge pile of salad and a piece of meat. Whereas what I think I kind of learned, and what we've changed, is the amount of the word fiber, and that kind of fills me up to an extent that I need less meat, and also I resist cravings in between meals, and that seems to have worked very well.
Awesome. Yeah, it's great to hear. What were the things that helped you get the weight getting back down again that we implemented?
I think exactly that, which is the understanding what kinds of food you can eat. I don't cook, and I don't have time to cook. So for me, it was important to have for you not to come and say to me, "Hey, Patrick, I need you to buy these 20 ingredients and spend an hour cooking." So for me, it was more important to understand, even if you go and buy pre-grilled vegetables or even pre-cooked vegetables, which ones you need to put on your plate, and then on top of that, what kinds of protein you're going to have with it. I still am very much a carnivore and also a fish eater, but I think since we started, you've managed to make me see a little bit the light plant-based foods, which I've learned it's got just as much protein, if not more, than in some of the meats that I've always eaten.
Awesome. Super happy to hear that.
The steps is the other thing. It's like, tennis is great because I certainly burn calories and I sweat, etc. It's not the only part of the exercise part. So I think we've implemented working out. So starting to train in a gym twice a week if I can, sometimes once a week, and sometimes 3 times if work mode allows it. And then I don't like going for a run, and I will always try and procrastinate doing it and avoid doing it. Whereas going for a nice walk is A, helps you clear your mind, and B, it's not physically demanding or challenging. And lately, I've implemented going 3 times a week for an hour to an hour and a half walk.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds amazing, and definitely something that we're going to focus on. Next to the weight, what were some of the other benefits that you started noticing?
My quality of sleep has been better. And just generally, I think from a health point of view, is just, I feel lighter walking around. It's less of a pain bending over and picking stuff off the floor. Not that it was that difficult anyway, but it's just I feel my body feels younger, as it were.
Awesome. How did it affect your mental performance in this regard?
My concentration, performance, and kind of general alertness during the day, and the ability to get up early, because I have to get up early every day, has been a lot better. The satisfying part definitely is on a kind of a shallow level. It's just being able to get into clothes that I couldn't get into before, or more importantly, just clothes that, whereas before when I put them on, I look like a kind of sausage. Whereas now, now they fit, and in some cases, I need to go and buy new clothes because the old ones are now just too baggy. So that part is and just feeling better in how how I look, and makes a difference in many ways.
That's so beautiful. And I also want to mention, you're like me. You like to enjoy the little things in life, and also to have the pleasure of eating out and just having a nice time. Did you have to give up on everything that was important to you?
To be honest, I haven't given up on anything that's important to me, and I think that I made that clear from the beginning that there's going to be no negotiation on stopping alcohol. I don't feel like deprived of anything. I don't feel like I had to cut out anything. I just feel like I've got more of a balance and a control of my weight, which means that I know what to do to maintain the weight that I've got. I know how to if I have a couple of days on holiday, eating out of excess, or even a week or 2 weeks of excess, I know how to kind of somehow balance what I'm eating, and at the same time, when I get back, I know how to kind of compensate for overindulgence, but without having to make it unbearable, like without starving myself or anything.
Awesome, yeah, without having to feel guilty. What would you tell someone who's sitting on the fence?
I would say, well, for a start, I think you take a leap of faith, but I think ultimately it's about two things: is A, how much do you want to do it, and B, I would say, to beyond how much you want to do it, it's not like doing these diets that some friends of mine have done, which is like the 5-2 diet, or where basically you starve yourself for 5 days a week and then can eat like a pig for 2 days a week. That's not something I would recommend doing. Whereas here, you carry on pretty much with a normal life, and for people who are busy like me, both in work and in family life, you can still you can find very easy solutions on the eating side, and it's worth doing the plunge, because the end result is very noticeable from every point of view, and it's a great feeling when people come up to you and say, "Wow, you're looking good," or "You lost weight," or it makes it all worthwhile. But the funny thing is, I say it makes all the pain worthwhile, but it's not that much pain, and it's kind of long lasting. That in the past, I've always, if I had through some miracle managed to lose 3-4 kilos, I would go 2 weeks on holiday, and then everything would be back to square one. Whereas here, I have an understanding and a much better balance. So that's why I would highly recommend this method of doing things.
Awesome, thank you so much. Super appreciated you taking the time to share your experience on here, and hope this inspires you and helps other people also get the ball rolling. See you in the next one.
Let's get to the next 10K. Do it again.